Okay, so here is my 2025 wrapped of all of the things that I trusted myself with. 2025 was an amazing year through and through. It was a good year for me all the way from January to December. But the reason why it was a good year for me was because I trusted myself to do some of the things that I've never done before. So I'm starting off strong. I trusted myself more with relationships this year. So over the past couple of years, I just kind of like fell out with people. I felt like there was no need for me to keep up my relationship with people. I didn't struggle. I didn't put in the required effort I need to keep up my friendships and my relationships. But this year, I decided I was going to change. And the first thing I did was to read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. That book changed a lot of my perspective about how relationships are meant to be. So this year I reconnected with some of my friends. I made a lot of new friends and I managed to put in the work that is required for me to keep those friendships. I reconnected with some of my family members that I haven't talked to in a while. I reached out to them, some I visited them. I kept going back to people, like I kept doing the work that required for me to keep the friendships and relationships. And one thing that I realized I gained from that is that I was less depressed, I was more happy. Not like I was depressed, but I was more happy connecting with people because all in all, we are all social human beings and we are meant to keep being with people. We are not meant to be alone. We're not meant to grow up alone. So that's the first thing that I trusted myself with. The second thing I trusted myself with was moving out of my parents' house. I moved out of my parents' house in an unsuspecting way. I never thought I would leave my parents' house, but I decided I was going to serve far away from home. And moving away from home actually taught me that I have very little or no survival skills at all. Like my survival skills are practically non-existent. So I had to build my survival skills from the ground up. I taught myself how to live alone, I didn't technically live alone, but at least I survived on my own without my parents' input because when I was in school, my parents always had an input in my life. I basically went home every weekend throughout my stay in the university. But when I was far away from them, I was able to think for myself, not expect anything from anybody or from anywhere. I had to train myself how to manage my finances, how to live with myself, how to how to do like basically everything. Even I think to prepare my own food because most times when I go home to go and pack food. But here, there's little to no places to pack food from. Though I had some of my extended family help me and always been there for me. But the fact that so many times I had to be the one, the sole thinker and sole provider for myself, it made me know that I basically knew nothing or next to nothing about life. And yeah, that really pushed me in a way that I never expected. Like it stretched me in a way that I never thought was going to stretch me. It affected me at first, but later I bounced back and I was able to get the rhythm. The third thing that I trusted myself on was building my own life. So prior to this moment, everything that I have done has been dictated. Like from primary school, the next thing to do was go to secondary school, and then from secondary school, the next thing to do was to go to university. And then after university, now I'm serving, and then there's basically nothing. Like nobody's telling me anything, nobody's telling me what to do. At first, it came like a road shock because you'll be expecting a voice that tell you or someone that comes to you and say, oh, this is what you're supposed to do next. This is what you're meant to do next. But literally nobody came to me to tell me anything. It was hard at first because I didn't know what I wanted out of my life. I knew I had some ideas on some of the things that I wanted, but there's so many things that I had no clue on. Yes, I had a clue on the career path that I wanted to go, but how did I want to achieve this career path? I had no idea. So I basically had to teach myself from the ground up how to start building my life. I started watching YouTube videos. I started listening to podcasts. I started going out more. I started trying to meet people. I asked a lot of questions. This year, I know I asked a lot of questions. I spoke to a lot of people and they gave me pretty much good advices. But I had to learn how to tailor all of these responses to my own life because people are only going to advise you based on how their own life is. So this year, I took all of those advices and I look at my life, place them side by side, and I was able to forge out new paths for myself. And this made me so, so happy. So the fourth thing, which is the last thing that I trusted myself to do this year, was that I trusted myself to heal. So I grew up in a supportive family. I grew up in a very caring and loving family, but that isn't didn't exempt me from some trauma, some form of bad experiences that made me to be somehow, in a way, I'm not sure how to explain it, but this year I had to teach myself how to come out of those experiences. Like, those experiences are not me. Yes, they happened to me, but they are not me. And there and my responses to those experiences were not the right way to live. So this year, with the help of the Holy Spirit, I was able to heal from some things that I hardly ever talk about, that so many people don't know about me, because people see me and they see my smile and they assume that I'm 100% okay. But deep down inside of me, I know the things that I had to struggle with and battle with before I can get to this level. And I can say that it's been an amazing experience so far. And I really can't wait for what 2026 has in store for me. Like, I am happy this year went the way it did, even though it was daunting. But yeah, I'm happy it went the way it did. And I can't wait for what 2026 has in store for me. So expect more of these videos from me next year. Thanks for watching. Bye.